That one got me.
That one got you good, huh?
That one got me, Mike.
You look like looks like not you.
y'all, twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman hacker, Hamin.podbean.com, patreon.com/Hamin Media Group. I don't know where those other infidels are, but I had a cheerleader running. He was standing on my lawn all night long doing stunts and yelling at me through a goddamn megaphone. Shiki, get out here, Shiki. So we were out here early this morning, and if you're here with us, it's the Monday Locker Room Infidels. Early Mike Mondo running. Yalla.
Whoa, what's up there, Shiki baby? I don't know how I'm gonna top that one, man. How you doing, right?
It's all good, man. I've had enough. I've had it done with, like, I want you on my platform. I want Jamin. I want Baltimore, and probably Von Lila's coming soon. So I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just sending the links every week, whether you guys respond or not.
Them out there, man. Hope
I've had done, man.
Pick it up and bite, you know.
Exactly, dude.
That's
and that's
awesome.
what I like. You don't know who's gonna walk into the locker room.
I got the link. You know, I'm just here at work, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll pop in for a few.
Oh, dude, I love it, man. I fucking love it. It's so good to see you, bud.
Yeah, man.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we're just waiting on Man Beast and the real Rick Vickery going to make his return today after some time off. But things are going crazy, man, with the Hustler Rip Rogers FR podcast, and people are enjoying the hell out of it. And Man Beast is doing a great job with it as we look back at some of the Sons of Rip. And you definitely are one of the biggest names of the Sons of Rip of taking his style, and Dr. Tom's and others, and having such success with it. Everybody puts you over. I do, as well as being the guy to punch up any match and work with anybody, dude. But I'll send you the kayfabe links on that for the Rip podcast so you can listen to him, man. But what do you think about the Hustler this morning, man? He's fucking jacked still, too. He's killing it.
He is, man. What is he, 60 freaking 6 or something like that?
66, yeah.
66, and he's in better shape than half the people out there.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, you know?
Yeah, he's putting in work. I heard he just got a new gig at Amazon too. So,
oh, did he?
Yeah, we'll see what he does. He'll finally get that company whipped into shape so they can make some money. Once Ripper's over there, he'll have them running
over at Amazon. Oh man, I wonder what he's gonna be doing there. That's freaking great.
Yeah, dude. Big Stevie Richards in the chat room this morning. Morning, Stevie. Hope you had a good weekend, buddy. Yeah, dude. So, Mike, how you been? You're back up north, dude. Everything going good for you?
Yeah, going great, man. Made the transition. I was living in Tampa, Florida for a little bit. Now back here in Long Island, New York. My folks right now, but actually got a place now, moving in December 1st. Looking forward to doing that. Just, yeah, man, just been kicking it, hitting the gym hard as much as we can hit the gym anyway.
Right.
New York just kind of got shut down. Not completely shut down again, but put it this way, shit hit the fan again in New York with the virus, and now they're closing things earlier and stuff, like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just, yeah, man. Other than that, though, it feels good to be back. I finally feel like I'm home again. So it's nice, you know?
You just wanted some pizza, you motherfucker. That's all.
Pizza, the bagels, the Hungry Man, the delis, all the top. You ain't going to get any better pizza than New York.
No,
that's for sure. Man. The New York, the Hungry Man. And I can tell you, as long as been traveling everywhere around the world and stuff, you'll never find a deli like you will here in New York. You just
man.
You just can't. It's just
there's just some flavors that are just so local around in this area that you got to have them when you're away. Everything's an imitation. Sure, you'll find new stuff, but I know what
you find new stuff, but it's not like the original.
No, right, man, we had a good day this weekend for wife's number one's birthday. Went out and visited the doctor-in-laws, and it was a good time. Went to Double D's house last night for another dinner. He had a 7-pound steak on the grill. you know how he does it.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So.
Did you take her to Dippin' Donuts?
Well, that's every day. I can get that. You know, we went out to Rochester
that's an original place right there. You ain't gonna find many places around like that.
No, they just actually released the carrot cake donut today. Brand new donut release at Dippin' Donuts, man. So,
nice. Good stuff. Hell yeah. Did she have a good birthday? Everything was good.
Yeah. I got over big. I bought her, you know how she likes all the Coach purses and all that, so I got her a nice one there, and
nice.
she was real happy about it, and then got to go see the doctor and surgeon-in-laws, and had a good night, man. It was definitely a nice day, especially before the weather turned kind of shitty. So
yeah.
And usually around this time of year, it's always a gamble. Usually she gets a rainy November birthday, but it was a nice day, no doubt about it, man. But I haven't been in the woods too much. I know you and Smokes wanted to come up, but you're welcome.
Yes.
This next week, we've got camp all to ourselves. I don't know what your schedule is, but I mean, I know it's last minute or whatever. But let me know, man. It's whatever you guys want to do, and my brother's down to hang out too. So. It's just been crazy with COVID and the amount of work here in Hamin Media Group. I'm pulling 6 days, 17 hours a day. And then on the 7th day, I might do 5 or 6 hours. So
Damn.
I'm right around 90 hours a week, man.
That's wild, brother.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I pull 40, 45, sometimes 48. And
yeah,
man, that just feels like eternity sometimes, you know? But
right.
I can only imagine doing 90. But at least, you know what? You're doing what you love to do. You're great at it. You know, and you're finally like, you're doing it, man. You're doing what you always wanted to do, and like at your profession. And you know what? So who cares how many hours you put in a week? Probably doesn't feel like work to you. You know what I mean?
It's just, I know I'm getting up and I'm in the saddle.
And that's the biggest thing right there.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting up and doing what you love to do.
Yeah. It's 7, and if I go to 11 or Thursdays is 1 in the morning because I got a lot of editing to do. But right now, my staff of almost pretty much all volunteer help to build the community in 3 years it's crazy every day, man, from street team to editors to co-hosts to veteran talent, and now helping produce Rip stuff, and then working with Russo. It's just been an insane 2 years, to be honest with you, Mike. So and it's not slowing down. It's getting crazier and crazier, man.
That's good though. That's good, man. Busy's busy, and busy is good. I mean, and soon, you know, who knows? You'll have your own tier of people working, you know. And
there's a lot of diehards.
Take the load off you a little bit once you kind of get a little bit more established and doing your thing.
Yeah, I hope so, man. But I'll tell you, I'll say it again. Do you hit this guy up at Mike Mondo 83? We want him on the platform full time.
Be Mike Mondo. No 83.
No 83 anymore.
No,
that's it.
remember we talked about that.
Oh yeah.
Professional.
Yeah.
I picked the brain of the Sheik. The Sheik's got answers.
That's right, man. Well, at the Mike Mondo, tell him you hit him up every day and say we want you on Hamin Media full time. Jamin Olivencia, Brent Terring, Timmy Baltimore too, and Von Lilas. So, I have no mercy on these guys because I know they had a huge influence on me. All of those guys I just mentioned. And when people put me over, a lot of the time, all you're hearing is me repeating what Mike and Rip say, but it sounds like what the fuck. I sound like the smart one when all it is lessons that I've learned from wrestlers and wrestling psychology minds that are far superior to mine, but then they pick up character stuff from me. You know what I mean? As far as that goes.
A little work back and forth and bounce stuff off each other.
Yeah, dude. And it's been great as far as the core. We talked about the core last week, kind of with Man Beast and I, and you're definitely we're just a part of it. Stevie says the water's just fine on the blacklist, Mondo. So join us, buddy.
The water's just fine on the blacklist?
Yeah, for those of us unhirables.
Oh boy. Yes.
So come on.
Avoid that.
Right, we're making it do work over here, man. So that's what I'm saying. We just the team is getting stronger and stronger. How about, I'm sure I'll come back to this when Man Beast and RBV come on, but you see Zelina Vega got clipped because of she put over I support unions, and then 15 minutes later WWE future endeavors her. Now I don't think it's because of that. The rumor has it that she didn't want to leave Twitch and she started an OnlyFans under her own name, which is like fuck you to the office after they told everybody either kick up to us and it goes against your downside, or else get rid of your Twitch and all that shit. You're not allowed to have that under your name. And I think she didn't sell for it and wanted to stay on. So is Paige, and a couple others want to, but they fucking made an example out of her, man, on Friday.
That's interesting. I didn't know. Because I know Drew Gulak was always on, Twitches too as well, and I was following, seeing what he was doing, and now all of a sudden, I guess they have to get rid of all their Twitch accounts and stuff, like all
It's mob. It's like mob style. So some of them were making reportedly 30, 40 grand for doing next to nothing. Like they don't do set shows like this, you know?
Yeah.
So they're living off their WWE celebrity, which is totally, understandable from a WWE standpoint. So they heard about the money some of them were making, 30 and 40 grand. And obviously the mob boss wants his kick up. So if you're not paying them, then
also the license, the contracting, they've marketed their rights and everything. So I guess figuring using their rights to use it on another platform to make money, then they want their I get it. Okay.
So that, and then Twitch met with WWE to give them all their passwords and what they were making. Like they put the muscle on them. So the money they make counts against their downside if they're not on the road right now. So WWE won't have to pay them their downside if they're making this X amount on Twitch of what they're promised. So it's like a double snake move from the office, but they have a point of you're making money off of the celebrity that we're investing in to create. But it's also a little short-sighted because they're in a very cool spot where the diehards operate. So why would you take something away from them because of a money play?
You can't blame the talent. I mean, you're there for, it's all about longevity, right? And you obviously want to try to get the most years you can, make the most money as you can. So they're just thinking outside the box, and they're thinking, if there's another avenue to make money, while I have the TV time that I have and working for the company that they're working for, it's just another chance to make money. And it is a double-sided story. You know what I mean? Of course, I favor for the boys. I'm one of the boys. You know what I mean? I wish they could go have.
They figured out how to hustle and make more money.
More money, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but it is what it is, and I get it from a company standpoint too. They want their piece of the pie, so it's like just one of those things. Is what it is.
Yeah,
it's what it is, brother.
Yeah, well, now what it'll be is her husband, Alistair Black, getting paired with Lars Sullivan, and they're the next gay gimmick or something along those lines. I heard we got a story coming up about him having a request already that kind of got shut down. So they've done the same thing with, I don't know if you've been following, hopefully you haven't had to watch TV, but Lana.
No, I haven't.
Well, Lana and Rusev, right? Well, he leaves and goes to AEW, and they're using him in a ridiculous way. But dude, the last 8 weeks in a row, they've had Lana get put through the announce table by Nia Jax. Like like they do a segment all to set up the punishment rib of her taking the Samoan drop through the fucking table every single week. This week they thought they were clever and they stopped it in a segment earlier, which was a big swerve, and then they came back out again and then put her through the table. But boy, wasn't that brilliant. So
damn.
Yeah, man. Actually, here's somebody who's brilliant as well.
The man beast.
There he is.
The man gimmick.
What's up, Mondo? I didn't expect to see you this morning. That's a pleasant surprise.
Man, just kicking back here at work, and I got the link from the Sheik. Click on it. And, come on board for a minute.
Sometimes you have to,
Sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah.
I said,
go ahead and Gary do. What will Gary do?
Gary, I forgot about Gary.
I forgot about Gary.
Did you think he's still Ali's neighbor? He moved to Australia with him?
No, he's still staying at Cronin.
Yeah, he's at Cronin still.
For sure.
Somebody's got to cut those lawns.
Yeah, someone's got to cut those fucking lawns.
Still looking good, though. He takes that B12, man.
Dude, he takes a lot of B12. Dude. A lot of B12 and ATP. Kind of like ATP out there.
So he's lots of ATP. You'd almost say too much, but if you ask Gary, he never thinks it's too much.
He's clean though.
Yeah.
Oh shit, this is what I love. Now you guys are getting to see the core. This is what the fuck we do, and we did it for 3 years in and out together, man. Every moment's like this. You can just feel the energy change in the locker room. I know you can see it here at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman. And that I said enough's enough. I'm not chasing these fucking guys. Every Monday locker room, I'm sending the link to him, to Jamin, to Von Lilas, to Baltimore, whoever else I want to. So you never know. That's what the Monday Locker Room is now going to be a randomizer of any wrestler I want to can check in, and we'll see who's brave enough to click the links and talk some shit on the headlines. But it's not about that, man. It's about seeing the people we care about the most and who we have the most respect for, and that they wouldn't be where they are without us behind them, and we wouldn't be where we are without them behind us, man. So that's why I definitely am glad Mikey's here today, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Definitely be good. Good to be on the show. I like this little setup here, you know. And,
Yeah.
Just freaking talk, man. Just
That's it.
mind, you know.
It's the same as sitting in James' apartment, bro. No,
Right.
fuck that. we got a whole week of wrestling to get through. Monday's the roughest one because you have the realization of tonight's 3-hour brutal show to get through, man. And they're just doing things now that are complete punishments. Like I said with Lano Beast, we were talking about right before you came on, Zelina Vega getting zapped because of OnlyFans, and then the union tweet, and then we got sent this Photoshop thing where it looked like WWE Twitter responded saying, take this down or we'll sue. And then she responded saying, go ahead, I'm prepared or whatever. But then people are saying that was Photoshop. So, I mean, is that Stephanie? If it's true, is that Stephanie running at WWE and they got caught in some weird emotional Twitter thing? Or it really doesn't matter because we know what this is about. It's about the third-party platforms. And even Anna from 90210, right? Is that who she played on there? I can't remember the that Brandon liked. She's the head of SAG-AFTRA out in Hollywood, and she hit up Zelina Vega, and also we've got Andrew Yang probably smelling blood in the water too, and ready to come back in to get his little political thing. So if we're talking unionization, this little punishment and future endeavorment could lead them into a dark place where they are going to spend a lot of money on lawyers that they did not want to spend based on their vindictiveness.
Wow. It's a lot of info that she.
That's what's going on. That's what's going on, though. You know what I mean? Like that, she tried to sign up for OnlyFans to say "fuck you" back to them to make that money, and then the unions, the Hollywood unions, hit her up and said, "Get a hold of us on the kayfabe. We might have your back." So this might a little change of the subject here, just for quite a bit, but I got a question that I need an answer here. This is something I'm very curious here. So under your name, Sheik, on my screen, it says Only Hams. Yeah.
Under my name, it says Mike. Okay. I should have put Mondo for whatever. I didn't know what I was getting myself into here. But under Man Beast, it says onlyfans.com/sex ... And what is that?
I'm starting my new OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/sexybeast. Don't click on it yet because I haven't quite gotten the link. I haven't quite gotten the link together.
Porn site or something?
I figure everyone's doing their OnlyFans site now, so I figure I might as well start mine. I have not typed this link into my browser. I don't recommend anyone type it into their browser. It's literally something I made up for a name. But if at some point maybe I'll get rights to the link and we'll have only. Mikey, you need to get your own OnlyFans page. Do all cheerleader poses. Absolutely, that's where the real money is.
All right. Awesome, man. It's just funny because like it cut it out. So
it does look. It looks like it's just a porn link.
Yeah. I don't know. It just popped me.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what we're doing here at Hamin Media Group. Once you come aboard, everybody gets their own porn site. Oh boy.
Guys, I'm sorry, man, but I gotta let you go because I got
not a problem.
Tend to business.
You gotta do your thing. Yeah, no problem, man. Good to see you, Mondo.
Man. Hey, awesome talking to you guys. I love you.
Absolutely. You too.
Yeah, you come back, man. I want you back more and more. Mike, hey. Man, good shit, right?
I'll say as far as Lana goes, although most I think wrestlers don't necessarily think like this, but I would be looking into, granted, again, when you're attached to the WWE name, you're going to unfortunately have to share some of that wealth, but I'll be reaching out to 84 Lumber, to Lowe's, to Home Depot, and try to get some kind of sponsorship gimmick. If she's going to go through tables every week, might as well try to get some extra cash on the side from doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, well, she's done now, but it's going to be on Alistair Black. Are they going to do a reverse Lana Rusev on them, where now she's gone and they tie him with Lars Sullivan and he's doing, scenes where it looks like he's sucking his dick or something?
Is Lana out?
No, Lana's in and still getting put through tables. Miro's fired. Zelina Vega fired this weekend. Alistair Black still there. It's just an opposite reverse role.
I thought you meant like when you first said reverse role, I thought you meant they were going to bring Lana together with Alistair Black and give him a romance angle just to fuck with them both.
They just heard that. You gave that away. That's how it's going down next, probably.
Oh shit. I'm sorry, guys.
Man, Beast put that in the ethos. But dude, they already went to the office, I guess. Let me see if I can find this. No, that's Alexa Bliss. That's even more great news. Alistair Black reportedly denied a WWE NXT return. It's been reported by WrestleVotes that Alistair Black recently requested the return to NXT, but was rejected by WWE. This news was following the announcement that WWE had come to the terms of the release of Zelina Vega, which led to the fallout from WWE's third-party rules. Zelina has since returned to Twitch and received some overwhelming support. WrestleVotes did note that Black's request couldn't be tied to the news of Vega's release. Triple H had obviously stated that many wrestlers were asked to work in NXT, and it appears Black is one of those names. He's a former NXT champion, had great success. Yeah, whatever that means. While you're in developmental. However, he's currently a member of the Blue brand, but has only made sporadic appearances over the past few months on the main roster. Obviously, with the eye patch thing and whatever they were trying to do, and Hamin was a big proponent of his, and the guy was going to knock on doors and pick fights. He never picked a fight with one guy. Cool entrance. Aleister Crowley, Illuminati, they just never really committed to the bit and went all in on it. They even tried to put them together as husband and wife with her wearing Satanist things. And I think that was probably the start of people going, oh, you want to go into business for yourself and start dressing like your husband, thinking we'll pair you together. And the spotlight was on her. That's where the heat starts, and it just keeps building and building and building and building until the situation we have now.
I think the interesting part of this will be, Zelina, at least as far as I could tell, I never heard any bad words about her in the locker room. So, and I get the gist that she was, tight with everybody. So if she leaves here and ends up, being able to talk to her friends about she's making just as much, on the side doing the website and Twitch thing, if more people are going to potentially go ahead and cut the proverbial cord and say, you know what, I'm done with this too. I'm just going to go be an independent artist, and I'll work for, companies that are going to give me the freedom to allow me to do so. And it might be an interesting transition in thinking for wrestlers. And if anything, it could be actually a great thing for the world of wrestling. Not so much for anyone under contract, but yeah. But still, for independent creators in general.
None of them are going to make that money unless they're under WWE contract, because they're not shit. They're not branded a certain way. They're going to be where I am after 3 and 4 years, and you are, of like still grinding, 3,000 to 4,000 followers, happy for everybody watching live. And like, meanwhile, they go on WWE, they're rotten as fuck, their promos suck, their work in the ring sucks, their wrestling psychology and ability to cut a promo sucks. But hey, they're on Twitch, so they're making $30,000 a fucking year because of WWE. Like, it's just the mafia stamp of, being over or not, and not really being great at what you do. It's brutal. Tables, ladders, and chairs in the live chat, 25 strong here at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman. Ben Hamin, YouTube, says, I don't blame Black for wanting to go back to NXT. Well, here's the thing, man. And you did a great job. His new, we had an exclusive interview with PCO that he did, and that's available now on Ben Hamin YouTube up live, guys. So check out old Athers doing that. A great interview. So thanks, Athers. But now I'm going to throw you under the bus.
Hey, that's not nice.
Going back to NXT is fucking stupid. No pro baseball player goes, you know what? I'm sitting the bench making 10 times as much as I would have any place else. But I'd like to go back to the minor leagues where I can start and no one can watch me in some little shithole stadium. Fans think NXT is over because they fooled you with false positive supermarks from Florida and Full Sail University cheering and trying to take over the show and telling like whatever indie darlings that they wanted to promote. It's a complete false positive. There's no extra money for the performers. Not like there's a ton right now because they're not on the road, but to want to go back to NXT is the dumbest thing, because that shows to me that you're a mark for yourself and 2,500 fans that are just trying to hijack the show and get themselves over. No one on WWE when we were in developmental would go, man, I fucking miss OVW. I want to go back to OVW full time and make 1/5 of the money that I'm making in WWE at this time. So that whole NXT thing, it was all a dream. It's bullshit. It's fucking developmental wrestling college. Just because it's on a TV show network does not make it a viable third brand where they're making more money. They're taking stupid bumps for 1/5, 1/6 the money.
I do agree. The bumps are very egregious on that show, but I will play devil's advocate a little bit. Disregarding the brain busters on the apron. Although shout out to Stevie tuning in. What I'll say is I feel like Alistair Black may be coming from a place. Well, one, I'll say the difference between OVW and now is it is on the USA Network on a prime time time on Wednesday night. So that's, it is a lot more of an audience, but I'd also say perhaps as an independent artist, he feels he's going to get to do what he wants to do more so on that platform versus on the higher level major league platform. And maybe to him as an artist, getting the chance to do that, he feels more like he's going to get the opportunity to express himself as a wrestler on that show versus being on a Raw or SmackDown. Perhaps.
I'm with you. Then I'll come right back at you with numbers. OVW was in 1.1 million homes in the Ohio Valley region, right around there, 1.2 maybe. Providers of that, the watchers would be 30,000 to 60,000 during our era. I think as high as 120,000 when it was actual WWE developmental contract. So that's 1/10 of your audience of, let's say at the highest, right? Like you're getting 10% conversion. Now NXT is on every state. 360 million homes who have USA channel, and they can only draw 600,000 people. That's 1/600th of what you should be doing business wise. It's just a false positive, and in the fans' eyes, they don't know it, and that's what WWE wants. But the numbers don't back it up. The money doesn't back it up. And then when people who are supposed to be superstars want to go back there so they can be on top again for a phony title and 2,000 people saying right there, fight forever. No, Briz. That's business.
No, Ben, I will say on a completely business standpoint, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It is a short-sighted move because you're basically taking X amount of eyes that are on you and cutting it into a fraction of that. And that is bad business in general. But I'm just saying, maybe from an emotional standpoint, he feels like that's more important to him in his life than necessarily having the money and the fame. But from a business building or brand building standpoint, it's absolutely the wrong decision.
I'm with you, Beast. Yeah. I appreciate you playing the counterpoint on that. I'm not trying to come down as the heavy on you. You know that.
No, I know.
We'll lighten it up right now because it's the Monday morning monologue. Yeah.
Let's get to some bad news stories and make some jokes about them. Why not? Hope everyone's having a good Monday so far. Let's get into it. This is your Monday morning monologue. Lana, she went through her 8th table last week at the hands of Nia Jax, which, if anything, proves that Lana is a woman that knows how to handle her wood. Speaking of Lana, WWE superstar Lana announced earlier last week that she will be the subject of an upcoming WWE Chronicle documentary. You can view the announcement from WWE and Lana, and the documentary will debut on Sunday, November 21st, on the eve of Survivor Series. And to the WWE, I say, don't you threaten us. Haven't we suffered enough?
Jesus.
The AEW Twitter account made a bit of a flub with a post promoting Cody's comments about chair shots, with the headline reading, "Cody explains how to take a chair shot," to which Cody called them out, explaining that it was a prop chair, which the new MO of wrestling apparently seems to be, guys, listen, nobody gets hurt. It's all fake. It's all pre-planned. It's all pretend, and it's live. So tune in to the land of make-believe and watch the Fast Furious fiction this week. Sports Illustrated's Justin Barrasso, weird last name, recently spoke to the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, following their AEW tag team title victory at AEW Full Gear last Saturday. Nick Jackson revealed in the interview that Tony Khan made the decision to have the Bucks win the tag team titles. So there's nothing they could do about it, man. The Bucks were like, nah, man, come on, don't give us the titles. Tony Khan was all like, too bad, y'all have to win them. And the Bucks were like, okay, I guess. Something like that. I don't know.
Sure, it's all it went.
Yeah. On last week's episode of SmackDown, former SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley lost her rematch against Sasha Banks. Earlier this week, Bayley responded to a video recapping her feud with Sasha Banks. And according to Bayley, she says she's done with Sasha for now, implying that the feud may continue down the line. And to Bayley, I say, don't you threaten us. Haven't we suffered enough? WWE has posted a gallery of WWE stars dressed as the resident dead man, The Undertaker. WWE.com posted a gallery of Zelina, Vega, Sasha Banks, Jeff Hardy, Alexa Bliss, Shinsuke Nakamura, and more in Undertaker cosplay, because nothing quite gets wrestlers over as individual superstars, quite like dressing up and pretending to be another wrestler. In an interview with US Weekly, Nikki Bella said that her ex-boyfriend John Cena reached out to her after she gave birth to her son Matteo. In regards to child support, John Cena said, "You can't see me." And last but not least, speaking of the Bellas, during an appearance on Access Hollywood, Brie and Nikki Bella said that they think they have one more WWE run in them, as they want the women's tag team titles. And to the Bella twins, I say, don't you threaten us. Haven't we suffered enough? This has been your Monday morning monologue.
Yeah, what a great job on the rule of threes to bring his line back around and button it up. The structure was phenomenal in there. Oh,
I thought you'd appreciate that.
Oh,
Ben.
come on. That's what
I got that from you, man.
Oh, I loved that. The jokes are always Man Beast dad jokes. I've been growing up with those for 15 years, but the structure was what it was about there. That fucking really made my stomach feel good.
I'm glad to at least bring a little bit of light and laughter this morning.
Well, the thing is, you did it on a Bella's joke, so I was already ready to throw up, and then the structure of the piece fucking totally just grounded me. I was like, thank you, and I didn't see it coming on the rule of three either. So
Good.
I didn't see it coming. Oh, wonderful.
Cue the black.
Edit. That's it. That's how we take it home. We're just waiting on RBV to hopefully do a run in. He had Mike blow out this morning. He was all excited to come back and join us, and of course Murphy's lost, so he's over at Office Depot getting a snowball from Lars Sullivan, and he'll be right back after these messages. But yeah, man, it was great to see Mike this morning. Just every time I see him, I hear that little voice that kills me.
Actually, when I clicked in, I didn't realize we were already live, so we just started going just like you said, this locker room talk.
That's it. Well, I was here listening to music, and I wasn't live, and he clicked in, and I was like, "Here we go, we're going right now. Fuck it, why not?" You know?
Yeah, awesome. No, I'd hope he does. Jump there more often. I always love talking to Mondo.
Yeah, well, I want him full time. I want him.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. And talk about a guy that just won before he even had his first run with the Spirit Squad, was already just a wrestling machine. Like he literally ate, breathed, and slept wrestling like all the time. That's all he would obsessed with, and that's what would help get him good. And then being around the early developmental system, where just on a weekly basis we had guys coming in from Lance Storm to Tommy Dreamer to you name it. We had a different guy. I remember Pat Patterson, Dr. Death,
Robert.
I'm trying to think some of the guys that ran through Al Snow, Jim Cornette, everybody he would learn from, and he would pick their brains. Dusty was there one week. He would just pick their brains every time. Like he wasn't shy. Sometimes, some of the guys would come in and call out the wrestlers for not as many guys coming up and asking questions, but Mondo was not one of those guys. Then he goes up on the road, gets to on a weekly basis do house shows with Triple H and Shawn, and get to learn from them. Yeah, and Flair and Piper and Slaughter, and all the legends, and so when he went up and then came back, and I got to work Mondo afterwards, he was already great to work with beforehand, but just the sharpness of his game, just if it was a blade, it could cut through flesh like butter, because he had it. And I just think, obviously I'm biased. I know Mondo, he's a great guy, but I also think as a performer, was so damn good. It's just almost a shame that he's not anywhere right now, given at least his knowledge to other wrestlers right now, because he's just, he knows his shit. for sure.
Well, our other project, that's got to figure right in, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yes, 100%. Absolutely.
So that's the main reason, not just because I want to connect with him all the time that I can, and I'm glad he's back up here now. But that was the icebreaker. Hopefully we'll do more, and that's the first one. And now he's like, you know what, Cheeky, I like that. Let's do something.
Yeah, that was good, Cheek. Yeah. I do have to promote my new shirt, by the way, if you don't mind, Ben. I finally have a pro wrestling tee store, prowrestlingtees.com/drbeast, Dr. Beast. And, just in time for the holidays, you might be seeing friends and family you haven't seen in a while. So what better way to pop in the scene and say, I'm back, Dr. Beast. But just I'm back with a back, so people don't know if you're saying I've just arrived or perhaps I'm a spinal column. Who knows? As soon as you walk into Thanksgiving, people are going to be talking about how funny your shirt is. So get it right now. prowrestlingtees.com/Dr. Beast, Dr. Beast.
Nice.
All right. That's it. That's all I have to show.
Great, man. It's great. I like these little gimmicks. I mean, when I order shirts, I usually put in, they usually have like overprint stuff or something like that, or weird colors. But these PW t-shirts, I just like the way they look and feel. And these are only like $6.99 usually on there. So when you're ordering the Dr. B shirt, if you want something a little extra, these don't sleep on these ones. I got the green one.
You might as well, if you're paying for shipping anyway, might as well. I'll give you all a sneak preview too of my next shirt, just to pop you. For those that are listening rather than the watching, it's literally a picture of a leg with a butt for the kneecap, and it's a bum knee. All right, no more jokes today. I swear. No
all right, he was just hit me up. You want the link? I'll put you want the link.
Who?
Oh, devious one.
Oh, is she gonna jump in?
I don't know. I'll send it. We'll see. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah, Hacker Hamin, he's got himself a new shirt too. From my father, not someone who claims to be my father isn't really my father. On the show last week, but shout out to Greg Mosier with the official Culture Vulture shirt.
Oh, I didn't know he made that.
Yeah, Mo's made it.
Small world. I like. Well, I know who he is. That's why I'm like.
I
might have to reach out myself.
Oh, dude, does great work. He's Garback's Edge on here. If you're ever looking for him, come on, catch you, fucker.
The joys of technology. There it is. There it is. There she is.
And there she is too. Wee cheese. Have got him. Lamb's yeast. We'll see. But yeah, man, that was it's still kind of an ongoing and weird sticky situation. Mondo popped me, throwing me under the bus. That's a lot of information, Sheik. But the chick from 90210, who a nerdy girl on there, I think her name was Anna. I can't remember her character name. I think that was it. Whatever. She's now the president of SAG-AFTRA, the Actors Guild, and she reached out to Zelina Vega too, and it's in public saying email me and da 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 da. Not that Zelina can do a ton outside right now, but her case could be the one that starts cracking this open with them. Like depending what they do to Alistair Black off of this in their usual punishment way, and what's been done to Lana and even Bobby Lashley. You have the basis for hostile work environment lawsuits combined with how are these people on TV every week doing stunt person level work more than stunt people do, because a stunt is set up with a lot of safety measures on a set. A bump is not. It's on the performers and the person delivering it and taking it. How are we still not SAG-AFTRA and even at a higher level than what stunt people should be? Stevie was telling me while he was doing his stunt work recently, takes the fucking face bump. Everybody comes rushing in with a medical team. Like, are you okay? Are you okay? Stevie's like, yeah, what the fuck's going on with you guys? Like, oh, we thought you were hurt for real. He's like, no, this is what the fuck we do. I'm supposed to make it look this way. So, the fact of how they do it in Hollywood, even compared to what we're doing in real time, no way. We should be at an even higher level than what the basics are at this point. And I'm hoping that this might be the way to break into it, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a lot of things are in flux right now as far as being able to gear towards that direction. So you can only keep pushing that and talking about it and getting the word out. And I think if there is a time for those kind of protections to finally start coming to fruition and coming into place, now's around that time. And again, I gave him props last week. I know it seems like AEW has started to try to step up their game in regards to protecting their wrestlers and trying to make it publicly known. And so I'm hoping that kind of, movement and openness about trying to do more to protect the talents is going to be an ongoing trend.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think for Wang and her, it's more about being in the public eye. Well, maybe not. It's probably about the protecting performers to some degree too, but enough is enough, and it's time for a change. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Abraham Lincoln said that, and ever since, yeah.
he was a good wrestler. He got over.
That's true. He was a wrestler.
Yeah. Oh, right here. Also from NeoX Bose 1362. Want to become by followers, prime viewers at clck.ru/r9gqv bigfollows.com.
Yeah. Naox Brow's number gimmick, you're always tuning in, and we appreciate the information.
You're a diehard you're a diehard bitch here. Shit. This one is interesting, and I got to talk to you about this off camera too. Backstage note on original plans for Chelsea Green's WWE debut. Chelsea Green suffered a broken wrist during her WWE main roster debut this past Friday on SmackDown. As noted, Green underwent surgery on her left wrist the next morning and has since tweeted that she's begun the road to recovery. According to Meltzer Seltzer on The Last Observer, Green was slated to win that Final Four Survivor Series qualifier against Natalya, Tamina, Snuka, and Liv. Those plans were altered. After Green getting bumped off the apron by Morgan was legitimately hurt and forced to lay outside the ring until the finish of her match. Morgan ended up qualifying to be a part of Team SmackDown. Meltzer also noted that Green was originally supposed to debut Monday Night Raw earlier this year when Paul Heyman served as executive director for the Red Brand. However, those plans were dropped after Heyman was let go. Meltzer added that Heyman was the one who wanted Chelsea on Raw, and that explains why her main roster debut was postponed. I don't think that explains it. Yeah, so this girl has been one of my favorites since Impact with the Laurel Van Ness stuff. Laurel Van Ness, I think, just some of the best character work we've ever seen of like a low comedic character that can barge into any scene and steal it. You know what I mean? And then she kind of went to Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue way while she's been on the shelf. And I think that is also goes right into what we were talking about. Her boyfriend leaves or is released. They're worried about the crossover from AEW and that being the information pipeline. They put her on the shelf. They even asked to use his house to shoot the Mandy Rose and Otis pool scene like the week after they fire him, and they put the heat on Chelsea Green to like have to be the one to go ask while she's under NXT contract. And it's just an I don't know, cringy kind of situation. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, this girl has all the character talent in the world, probably better than anybody else on your entire roster, I got to say, to be honest, from what I've seen as far as commitment to the bit. Plus, she's athletic, Lance Storm trained, and young, but now in her debut, tragedy strikes again, because people were scratching their head like, Liv Morgan's up in this? Why? So this does make sense that they were going to have the night one debut, her beat them. That would have been a lot better in my mind.
Right. Yeah. It would have helped make her, but given the circumstances, that sucks. What happened? Do you know where it happened in the match? Was it obvious, or was it something that just kind of was, you didn't really notice, but geez. Was it obvious though where she heard it, or was it just
she was on the apron and it was like a double boots like drop kick off the apron, and when she hit, it wasn't like hanging or anything, but she had to have surgery pretty much right away on it. Put your mic on at least if you can hear us.
I'm doing cardio.
Okay.
I'm at the gym. I love you guys.
All right, we love you too. You're on live right now. Mikey just dropped in this morning too because I'm just sending people links for the Monday Locker Room. You guys, it's your NWA Women's Champion Serena Deeb, catcher this week AEW, and another big bout, devious one. How's it going?
Hell yeah, dude! Awesome. Preparing for this week.
Got to get that cardio in. Loves that cardio. Will not
dude,
stop.
For real.
Live this
Will
way.
not stop.
If you do 1 hour of cardio,
I love the man beast is in the doctor's outfit.
Yeah, always. You know, if you do for every 1 hour cardio, Sis, you get half of a frozen almond joy.
I had an almond joy last night.
Oh,
Ooh. Was it a frozen one or no?
No, I forgot. I should put them in the freezer.
Oh yeah.
For those who don't know, this is another core member right here. The almond joy joke is we all used to watch Raw together, and Pop would get them some almond joys. I put them in the freezer, and that was always a little thing to come out and start whipping almond joys, frozen almond joys at people, and it was just our little thing, man. So you guys are in on it. The click. It's the Monday Locker Room, guys, with more and more superstar run-ins. I don't know what to tell you, Deeb. What do we got going down this week? I know you got. I got a story up about the virtual signing. You want to tell us about that you're doing?
Yeah, I'm doing my first ever virtual signing next Sunday in the Philly area. And I don't really know what to expect, but I think it's going to be streamed live on Facebook. I should have more info about that one. You know, pictures, ring-worn gear, and all sorts of stuff.
Excellent. I like that they're doing that. I know a lot of the virtual signings are pretty popular right now, or even socially distanced one as well. So I'm glad to see you getting your superstar shine. They also just put out your new shirt from ProWrestlingTees.com, much like Man Beast got his new shirt out right now at Dr. Beast. But on AEW shop, I love your new sloth shirt. It's kind of trippy. It's kind of a throwback to. It looks like Grateful Dead kind of, but it's got the yoga and the namaste and all that gimmick there. How are you pumped about that?
Yeah, super pumped about that. It's like my first T-shirt, and no.
I wanted to say I wanted to put over because we talked.
T-shirt. I love how.
Sorry, we dropped it for a minute. Says, go ahead again. She is getting that cardio in. She's doing high knee lift. Cannot stop knee lifting.
What I was going to put over, though, I do love the new Serena shirt, and everyone should get it. But I still say, especially while you're having this great run as the NWA Women's Champion, I want a Namaste Champion shirt.
Yeah, we got to get
Namaste Champion. I'm telling you, it's money. I want one, actually.
In fact, we're putting that tweet up.
Namaste Champion. Let's get it.
Deeb, you're cutting in and out a little bit. I'll hit you up.
Namaste Champion. Sorry.
It's all good. Can you hear me?
I got really bad service. I'll probably meet up again. I'm about to work out, but
all right.
You guys have an awesome day.
You too,
I'll give you a shout once we're done with this. All right.
Okay, awesome.
All right, devious one. Have a good one. Work hard.
All right, guys. Core forever. Love you.
Core.
Sea bangers. You guys, what do you want from your Monday Locker Room? I can't give you much more than that, than the NWA Women's Champion, the hottest act in all of wrestling right now, and AEW as well. Serena Deeb joins us. Mike Mondo joins us. Dr. Manbeast joins us. It's a core afternoon.
Wait, here's the question. Did you send one to Von Lilas?
I did. I sent to Von and Jamin.
If you haven't been, for those that have been watching the Rip Show, because what happened was we're filming at Von Lilas's house, and Von Lilas, I think, got a little upset that we didn't put him over, and so now we're relentlessly on that show putting him over to the point that we're going to make him sick of it. Like literally, he's going to be upset over how much we're putting him over. Like he's the greatest thing ever. So that's why I have to make sure we put over Von Lilas. That's the most important thing that we do.
Get him over. I'll tell you what. If you don't want him to be on his heater side, because if he chops you, you're going to fucking be done for, man. So
I like that. You know, they brought in Rip and Lilas to Pat McAfee's place to train him, and Von Lilas just relentlessly. You think, you know, Von Lilas would take the opportunity to, you know, maybe play nice and build a good relationship with Pat. But to be fair, I think Pat also is the kind of guy that's like, dude, I'll fucking take it. Let's do whatever. And he let Lilas chop the shit out of him. Like,
you think that's a fucking smart move. You think you're gonna? I don't give a fuck if you're been in the NFL for how many years. There's nothing like it taking a chop from Von Lilas, dude. And then standing there for a second one, like, I'll prove it. It's the worst decision of your life.
Well, the thing is, he's so tall and he's got those lanky arms, but he's got a lot of power behind it. And the fact that he used to be a baseball pitcher and with you know, he had major league aspirations. I don't think he quite made it there, but, you know, he was a very solid ball player from what I understand. And so you combine that, just this ability to use the torque from his shoulder in his core, and again, those long lanky arms to just smash into your chest. It is brutal. I've taken several of those as well, and it sucks.
Buckshot Kid, talking Shopomania 2. I watched just a couple things. Seemed like people were laughing at the wrestle crap, but I was thinking of it. I go, you want somebody to get in there and you want to have him cut a promo? It's just Rip Rogers doing his entire bit and talking Shopomania 3. That would get people talking shop. So we're going to reach out on that because Gallows pops for that shit. So I know he'd put Rip in there in a second, bro. So
that's a good point.
Good stuff there. Man, I'm pumped though. It's Monday. I was dreading Raw, and we've already talked to Mondo and Deeb on air. I consider this a massive win. And coming off of Friday, having Joel Murray on to promote his whose live is it anyways? You guys can still go check that out. It's $9.50. It's going to be up all week. Ryan Stiles, Greg Proops, Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall, Joel Murray, Mad Men, Bill Murray's brother, if you got to go that route, Jeff Davies, and under $10 for a masterclass improv course. And that's why I was happy to have him on. And he was on the set of Cody and Stevie's show Heels. You know, so I didn't want to talk too much, but even let us know about what his character is. So we may have some official first look at what's going on the script and set of Heels. So I put that on the front end of the Friday Locker Room and Conspiracy Horseman. I delayed those shows last week because I really wanted to try and help those guys sell tickets. So that's just doing good biz. And there's also local Hamin media business that I may end up doing with the Murrays on their William Murray golf collection. So just when I talk to people about marketing, I just put up the in the marketing tier and the new Patreon about opportunity. Unbelievable opportunity. And part of that that I put in that video, which was a great one, I want to say, from the woods, was about using your connections and using your community and asking for help and just having that out there. Today, I just sent the link, and the opportunity for people that I care about, who I have a huge respect for, both jumped on and made this show legendary as far as I'm concerned this morning. So just that there's all of that. You just got to be able to identify it, you guys. And from Friday till today, I can't say how happy I am right now of the quality of entertainment we're putting in. I mean, every day of the week. People have been loving the last 3-4 weeks of Horsemen with the hot Billy Ray Valentine popping on shoots. Obviously, Wednesday Locker Room is the People's Show. Everything we're doing had Jenna Van Muscles on AEW like the Fuse the last couple of weeks, and here she is on AEW Dark. I'm just so happy and proud of everybody and everything they're accomplishing here with the space that they're getting at Hamin Media Group. The old Athers with the PCO bit. Stevie's absolutely annihilating it right now as an influencer. Like there is nobody on this roster that's not pulling their weight right now and not being inspired by other people, and that shit is unbelievably awesome to me, man. I just wanted to put that over.
No, absolutely, man. It's starting something really cool, and I also feel like we're literally just at the beginning stages of doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you know, and really getting all this cool shit we're doing. Again, I think it's only the beginning, man.
I agree too, man. Daniel Price, wait, what, where? Dave Foley, when, where? It was Saturday night, but you can go get it still, $9.50. Whose live is it anyway? Improv master-ish class, you know, from funny dudes, all the people from Whose Line, Drew Carey's show that you like, and it does good business. So I'm going to go watch it this week too, $9.50. Whose live is it anyway? Easy to fucking find, you guys. So, but yeah.
Real quick, I wanted to. You mentioned the heels thing. I don't know why. This random memory popped in my head, and I think people appreciate it. It's an old Jim Cornette story from back when he was booking OVW. I want to say it was when he first came back after WWE pulled out, and he was helping Danny book. And I think he was getting to know the characters. But back then we had a babyface curtain and we had a heel curtain. And, the baby faces came out through the babyface curtain. The heels came out through the heel curtain. And for some reason, one of the baby faces was leaving. And he walked through the heel curtain. And for some reason, I'll say Cornette must have been in a good mood because normally you'd expect him to just, flip his shit. But for some reason, when that happened, he goes, "Oh, no, don't go that way. That's heel land." We were backstage watching. I was like, heel land? I was like, I like the idea. It's just, like a Super Mario level. It's just all the heels. Like, I don't know. I just
that'd be the worst. That's It's like when when you go through that curtain, you're on that big ship in the sky with all the cannons.
Yep, that's it. Heel land.
I just put the link for that from houseseats.live for the Who's Line presentation. Under $10, you guys. And go hit up Joel Murray at Joel Murray 9 of 9. Because he's the youngest of the Murray clan, and tell him to say thank you for coming on Hamin Media Group on Friday. We really enjoyed that. That'd be a great thing if you guys do that for us, and it just keeps promoting things forward, and that's why we get these opportunities. And if you want to know more about opportunity, patreon.com/Hamin Media Group marketing tier. There's a fun video now with me in the woods, full camo. Miro reacts to Zelina Vega getting fired. He says, "Trust me, if I were in her place, I would have done the exact same thing." He said, "I mean, it's clear that she loves Twitch." Okay. She wanted to do more with her time than just wrestling. She's stuck to her guns. Now she'll have the opportunity to do whatever she wants. I'm not sure why everyone feels bad about the situation. Please don't feel bad for her. There's nothing stopping her right now. I've been trying to jump on it, whether it's with Paige or her, just to get that look. And I'm not trying to be, a sycophant by any means, but right away, like if they're in that reeling stage of something bad happening to them, Hamin Media Group's here. It's putting a turbocharger on your engine, and you got a whole community to back you up, plus the superstar power you already do. So you don't have to fall all the way down and then climb back up. You can walk out of there and start ascending right away. So, I hit her up too. We'll see if anything comes of it. Like I said, we have a lot of mutual friends, so. But Miro, he's on it.
Miro.
Makes me always want a gyro. Like, it makes me hungry.
Ooh.
Miro.
Maybe he should come out to the song, "I'm Holding Out for a Gyro."
I need a gyro.
That would be pretty good.
That would be good. Jake Hager, you might have heard of him. He claims that John Cena refused to drop the WWE title to him. Hager revealed Cena refused to drop it. He won it Money in the Bank briefcase at WrestleMania 26, one of the biggest moments in his career in the company. During the conversation about it, Jericho revealed the original plan heading into the show. The idea was right after Mania, that one where I wrestled Edge, I would beat Edge at Mania, and then he would beat me the next week on TV. But we showed up in Vegas, and Vince calls me into his office, Jericho recalled, and says, "I'm changing my mind. I want to put it on Jack Swagger." And I was like, that's cool. But my point there was a point where Vince wanted you to be the champion. Hager then spoke about how he teased cashing in the briefcase on Cena, and that went on to learn that Cena actually refused to drop that title to him. He said, "I had a little inclination, but I had no idea what was going to happen. That night before I teased on Raw, where I almost hit Cena with the briefcase, I snuck up on him, and then we had one of his brilliant promo segments. Later, come to find out, he refused to do the job for me for the World Championship, but we won't talk about that." Ooh, shitting on the big baby face, man. Not wanting to do biz. I don't know why. It seems like Hager would be a guy that Cena would want to take a little bit more seriously. An OVW guy, a legit wrestler, and a guy who's, looks the part. I don't understand it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's more to that story somewhere that we're not privy to, as far as what the relationship was or what the rationale was of the reasoning. But it is interesting because you would think for future brand building, that would be a good decision to help elevate a young talent. So that is interesting that Cena didn't want to do the business for him.
Yeah. Well, he had something else he wanted to do. I don't know.
Swagger got jacked.
Hagermeister. Chelsea Green injured. We covered that.
Oh, I wanted to say something on that. If anyone has any connection to Chelsea Green, I'll say I hope she takes the time to make sure she's fully healed before she comes back. Because something like a wrist injury can really be very tempting to come back from early because it's just a wrist, and certainly you can come back earlier if you wanted to. That being said, you underestimate the amount of scar tissue that builds up after surgery like that, and how many little bones and blood vessels and nerves are very intricately a part of your wrist. And coming back too soon and not allowing that to heal properly, you're building up more of that scar tissue, which you might be able to work through while you're younger. But when you're older and don't have use of that hand anymore, that's where I very much caution you to take those 2 or 3 extra weeks that you feel like you might be ready to come back and still having a little more rehab to do. Finish your rehab, get that wrist full range of motion at least as best you can before coming back. Otherwise, you will pay for it when you're older, and I never want anyone to have to do that. To try to make a couple more weeks of whatever. Like trying to hurry up by just a couple weeks when it's not really going to, in the long run, do you any favors. Take your time and heal, and that's for anything, for anybody.
I always say heal out on them. Always take.
That's right. Always heal.
Always heal. That's all.
Motherfuckers.
God damn it. Don Callis claims Kenny Omega would have joined Impact if AEW wasn't created. During an interview with Fight Game Media, he spoke about Omega. He said, I'll say this, if AEW had not come into play, Kenny Omega would have come to Impact Wrestling. Not that he ever agreed to it, but it's something that Scott D'Amore and I would have made happen. Yeah, I mean, they're buddies from New Japan, and
right,
seeing that him being on the pay-per-view and whatnot, I thought that was a good crossover. I said we missed an opportunity for a Good Brothers run in there, but there's a lot of stuff that could be really great with those doors open. You and I have watched D'Amore's performances the last 2 months have been pretty brilliant on Impact, and we've been enjoying it for the last couple of years as some of the best creative in wrestling after sitting through hours and hours of tragic crap. Omega, yeah, I'm sure he would have gone there. Would that company really have popped a bigger number and whatnot, or you've been kind of lost in the shuffle? And he'd be a star like Sami Callihan is, kind of at that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that Sammy's a lesser star. I'm just saying it's just how many people are seeing you.
True. But I will say it does very much get me excited about wrestling to see that these relationships are being built between Impact and AEW, and I know they both have somewhat of a working relationship with New Japan, and it makes me excited for the possibility of having possibly down the line some crossover events. And can you imagine? I mean, I feel like at this point, if you're going to, and now would be the time to do it, if you're going to try to rival something like a big wrestling show like WrestleMania, like having these companies come together for like a mega show, and maybe even including a couple bigger independent organizations, maybe like a Major League Wrestling or something like that, or even Ring of Honor if they can get their stuff together. But you know what I mean? Some kind of mega show for just wrestling fans. I think something like that could really happen, and that's something that could get the spark that really all these companies need people watching again.
I think so too. I think we could build Omega all the way to the top, put the AEW title on them, and have them show up on Impact, and they have a champion versus champion match, even if it's not for the title, just to see who goes over. 2 of their top guys, if we built them that way.
Oh, and NWA too. I can't believe I said that, because they have that working relationship. So yeah, sure. that'd be amazing.
I'm not sure where the Ring of Honor stands right now. I know they're still kind of trying to fly under the radar and do PR damage control in a lot of ways, but that's there too. So, there is a lot of cool dream booking opportunities if we really flush this out and built our characters in our own houses the right way. And then the opportunity to cross over, whether it's Nick Aldis stuff or what have you, is always great.
Yeah.
I just want to say thanks. Somebody I see just bought a Culture Vulture shirt, and it's probably not Steve McQueen as he posts the link. So be like not Steve McQueen and get the new Ben Hamin Culture Vulture shirt and add another one to the cart and go over to Dr. Beast's store on ProWrestlingTees.com and get his new shirt, man. We're pumped to have that out. I got to get a hold of him. He's back, baby. Yeah.
That's right.
Chris Jericho cooks spaghetti and meatballs on shot of brandy.
Finally.
And just what he needs right now.
You know what's that's weird. And that's weird actually, because for some reason I've always had, not always, but over this last year, I always think of Jericho-isms, and for some reason I always imagine him talking about something in Italian with spaghetti and going, "Where's the spaghetti?" I see that in his voice. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh, yeah. Now I did spaghetti. I was like, so that is kind of funny. I doubt he said spaghetti.
Yeah, he does it, doubles up. Yeah, man. I mean, he's done enough comedy now with the Dinner Debonair. He can do whatever he wants. But all of these extra things with Brandy, it's tough to watch her trying to be Martha Stewart on this thing, but then she's ghetto fabulous, you know, shaking her head, "Oh no, you didn't," on AEW Dynamite, which was a decent scene where they committed to the bit, but then we're also supposed to believe that she has a master's degree in marketing and that she's a boardroom, you know, well-spoken woman. Well, I believe that to be her. I don't know why we're doing the Martha Stewart thing where she's a baby and we have a top heel doing a feel-good piece with her, and then we also have, you know, Cardi B Brandy version over here. So, you know, like let's try and pick a lane, you know, and stay in it. Like
Cardi B Rhodes.
So I don't know. I don't want to come down on her because she's trying to find her voice, but man, how many things can you do to spread yourself thin and kind of detract from one main thing? I just don't see the focus here on getting her over to how it should have been. And we had so many restarts, and she is the chief bikini officer. She's got the looks, the body, the delivery, all that, but it's all of these 19 different things avenues to go down. None of them really pan out, you know?
You're right. It does come down to you want to be able to have a definable character that people can relate to. And when you're multiple different things, it's hard to zero in on, okay, who are you exactly? Now, to your point, you had mentioned, she's perhaps trying to find herself. And to that point, you do have to experiment, and you do have to, throw stuff out there. And occasionally, you have to try things that might not, be as great as they were in your mind, and then they might fail. But at the same time, I think it would behoove her to choose one to attempt right now. And then if that gets over, great, keep running with it. And if it doesn't, then you can go back to the drawing board with the Martha Stewart thing or whatever, she feels she might want to pursue. But when you're doing different things at once, it does get it muddies the water a little bit.
I say mash them up, cooking in a bikini. That's what I'm about. Just don't cook bacon.
I was going to say, just don't cook bacon. I've done that. I made that mistake like 2 weeks. Well, I didn't wear a bikini, but I was not wearing a shirt.
All right, pal. What were you wearing?
Oh, shit. It's a bikini. It's a bikini made of bacon.
Delicious. Alexa Bliss. You might have heard of her. She gets engaged to Ryan Cabrera. It's been a great weekend for superstar Alexa Bliss, who got engaged yesterday to her partner, Ryan Cabrera. She wrote on her Instagram, 1 year ago, we said hello. Tonight, I said yes, at Ryan Cabrera, as somebody takes a picture while he's down on one knee and she's doing the hand over her mouth. I'm saying congratulations, no doubt. However, enjoy going through tables. Like, why do they not learn? Why do they need to get these metrics out there? She is in a big time angle, being reinvented as a demon child with a satanic fiend. And we're out here doing Bridezilla, he's yes to the dress bullshit on our Instagram because it's labeled Lexi Kaufman and not Alexa Bliss. I got a real big problem with it. And even WWE put over, congratulations, da da da. And I'm thinking to myself, that might look one way, but that could also be the twisted way of them going, we see what you're doing. We see everything. And this was not a good move. See you next week as you start going through tables.
Right. It said you're supposed to make people believe you're, an evil, wicked, princess or whatever. And But at the same time, you're also, the every girl moment of, he asked me, you know what I mean? And putting it out there like, you're on E or something. You know what I mean? Like that, like I feel like that's your story from Total Divas or Total Bellas, but then on this show, you're going to be the evil, wicked princess lady. And it's like it doesn't work.
No.
Well, it goes back to the same thing. Pick one or the other, but doing both just muddies the water, and then neither gets over.
Yep. And to follow that up, it's stories like this that make everybody just roll their eyes. Nikki Cross, you might have heard of her. She admits she's scared of the new Alexa Bliss. Nikki Cross appeared on the latest episode of Braxton Beat on Instagram. She spoke in depth about her former partner, Alexa choosing Bray over Nikki. She says, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It took me a while to compose myself, and I had a process in what was happening, but I went to Raw Talk later that night. I got myself together. I'm sorry for anybody who listened to me on Raw Talk. They might hear me repeat some points here, but I think it's worth being said again. To me, that wasn't Alexa speaking. That wasn't her talking. Once I started to really think about it, I lost my temper a little bit in a Monday Night Raw Talk. I can just feel myself getting a little more frustrated because I'm trying all these different tactics. Text her, call her, turn up at her house. Oh, don't do that. There's no way of getting through to her, no way of contacting her. And when I finally do see her, it's just we've followed it for the last 2 months. I don't know which Alexa I'm getting. Am I getting my Lexi back, which I know and love, or am I getting this person who is under the spell of the fiend?
It sounds to me like she might have to call her old friend Nessie to come and sort this out.
Nessie versus Lexi. Nessie versus Lexi. Yeah, man. Dude, how do you do these posts where it's best day of my life, you guys, and then your partner in the scene, who's the C player in the scene, the backup in the scene behind Fiend, and is trying to do good business and put over, I don't know what's wrong with Lexi. And like, dude, props to you, Nikki Cross, for towing the line on that and doing the work. Mad head shakes to these kids who keep blowing their fucking superstar level storyline and believability for a quick vanity metric post to announce to the world that she's engaged, something that should be held private when you're a superstar.
Right. Not to mention, not besides undermining the business that she happens to be in, when you put that stuff out there, I mean, part of the appeal of being a superstar is people have these, thoughts of, oh man, that would be, they have, they're basically their fantasies. I mean, even the guys too, they wouldn't, put over that. Can you imagine if Stone Cold Steve Austin, right before the height of his run or in the middle of his run with Vince McMahon, put out a post over, he proposed to Deborah or whatever, and that she said yes, and that would just completely kill the mystique. And any woman that wanted to have Stone Cold, all of a sudden they're not as interested because he's taking. You know what I mean? You're putting yourself as people want to believe that you're possibly available, not that anything would ever actually happen. But at the same time, that's part of the mystique and part of the appeal when you see these superstars, and you're basically putting out there. I wouldn't be surprised if because of this, and I think someone said it in the chat room, if merch sales go down somewhat, because now people that, are obsessed with her and have that fantasy of, man, that's my dream girl, my sweetheart. And then now she's getting married. It's like, well, I guess I'll move on to the next one. You know what I mean? And that's how it is.
Yep. Especially Christmas coming, what they coming out with the Alexa Bliss doll, like the crazy dolls and shit, like all that gets lessened. The chances.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Right, yeah, right for the holidays, you'd expect, and you did it right before that. It's like you got to put the cart before the horse.
They just don't learn, man. They're kids. This guy, anytime I see this dude in a story, I kind of pop because they were cool. I don't know how they were you at OVW, but I remember they pulled the insurgency aside and gave us some good heel advice at the time on just the way we're working the crowd. But Trevor Murdoch discusses joining NWA and who he'd like to face in AEW. It was actually at the funeral of Harley Race when he had bumped into Lagana and Nick Aldis, and he was struck up the conversation there, and they said come down and do one show. So that this is a guy who has that look of a 1950s and 60s wrestler and might take some heat for being a beer gut and fat body, but I think that sets him apart. I always liked the way that Trevor Murdoch looked like a non-conventional throwback, and him and Cade could fucking work. Like, I think they're as good, if not better, than FTR, to be honest with you, as a tag team. And every time I see him, I think back to Cade, that OVW summer spot with the fucking Big Bird. You remember that?
Yes. Yeah, when they used to call him Big Bird. Yeah, that was the big rib.
They did, but then he came out at the Summer Sizzler series, and somebody had a Big Bird doll, like a stuffed animal, and threw it at him, and he picked it up and was looking at it, and that's what the Southern crowd loves. They love all this shit. And he picks it up, he looks at it, and he gets all mad, and he gets all heated. He grabs a chair, he throws it up in the air, and goes to hit it. Boom, and he drills it, and you think it's going flying. You're like, where the frig is it? It lodged in the top of the chair and in between the seat of the chair while it was closed perfectly. And he looks down, and he didn't know he did it. He looks down and he goes, no, and he throws the chair down. Dude, in the entrance on the way to the ring. Already, whatever happens after that, I don't even remember how he got beat or went over. You know what I mean? It don't matter. That moment alone was so organic, so playing off the crowd. And then what you could never imagine or doing in a million years again happened. We had another one like that too. I can't remember if it was 2CW or OVW. Somebody had like a monkey toy. I think it was OVW, and they threw it. It was in a battle royal, I think gimmick battle royal, and the monkey landed on the rope, on the second rope, and the arms like hung over it, and it was sitting there on the second rope. Like, things like that are magical, and they only happen in the moment like that, and they either are or aren't gonna, but when they do, they stick in my mind forever. But Lance Cade, that spot at OVW is great, and Trevor Murdoch, every time I see him, reminds me of that.
100. And I do like the look of Trevor Murdoch. He looks like, just one of those big, mean high school football coaches that, could still whoop some ass if he wanted to. You know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah, man. And he can go. They know how to work, and they know that was what their look was. Miz discusses when he will retire and his hilarious backstage name. He was on the Not Sam Wrestling podcast, and he says, you want to retire at retire right at your popularity, right when your popularity hits max, and that's when people will miss you the most. People will start chanting your name, be like, yeah, we want him back. Even if you just leave randomly when you're in the middle of stuff, people are like, oh, that's okay, that's all right. You always want to leave him on a high. Yeah, edit at the highest point, always, guys.
Yeah.
He goes on to talk about his nickname that was given to him by Zack Ryder. They were backstage in the locker room where he's known as Missionary Mike. Zack Ryder coined the term. We were in the locker room one day. It was a European tour, and Ryder was talking to us about sexual stuff. And I was like, oh my God, really? He goes, what are you, Missionary Mike? Everyone erupted in the locker room. Now, if I get a call from Xavier Woods, or if I call Xavier Woods, I show up as Missionary Mike on his cell phone. That's how it is in the locker room now. Not only that, but I'll see Big E, and he's like, Missionary Mike. It's a thing now, and I don't want it to be a thing because I'm not a missionary guy. Maurice then jumped in and said, then they look at me and they smile, and I'm like, you guys, what the heck? You're such a bunch of kids. So Missionary Mike, hey, if that's what she likes, that's what she likes.
Hey, talk about a guy that's that's more than willing to lay down.
Yeah, man. People want to say whatever about Mike Mazan, and man, work, size, look, annoyance. I think that guy's paid his dues 100 times over, and people need to respect him on a level that they don't. He's been on TV since 1998 with no breaks.
Yeah.
Name another WWE superstar who has been since Real World Road Rules Challenge. That in Real World, which I think he was on, right? That's where he started. Mm-hmm. That's how long he's been on TV. The only time he was off TV was probably the 10 months he was training at OVW before he got on TV there.
Yeah, that's true.
So like people can say whatever they want to about him and that, but dude, I got mad respect. And he was another guy who would come to visit and do summer stuff and always cool to the boys, would fucking hook it up in the VIP room when we would go out to the bar and stuff like that. He would sometimes be on a little too much, like it was like the cameras were on him, but I think that's because he wants people to like him, you know. So
true. And kind of once you have that, proverbial switch where, okay, I'm on right now, then,
right.
Some guys just always fall back into that.
Right. But yeah, I got nothing but good things to say about my experiences with him. And that's a guy who parlayed that into a super hot wife and his own reality show. So, out of here, you could see him on anything from that Dancing with the Stars, because he's 100%. He's the Ryan Seacrest of wrestling, right? That's pretty much what his gimmick is how I look at him. So there isn't anything he couldn't do. I could see him with his own afternoon talk show and be in a Jerry Springer spot too, if he wanted to.
Yeah.
AEW announces a physically distanced meet and greet before the 11/18 show. Cody Rhodes, Arn Anderson, Lance Archer, and Jake Roberts will be available to meet at this opportunity. It'll be a contactless meeting, and only limited tickets are available for the 18th. So if you're going to be there, you guys check that out. I know the 22nd they're having the digital one. We talked to Serena about that, but they're probably at AEWTix.com right now, or just go to the AEW website if you want to meet those guys. Eric Bischoff reveals he was once offered the chance to buy UFC. On his 83 Weeks podcast, he spoke about UFC in its early years, admitting that nobody in wrestling actually saw it as competition, but he was curious about the product. Nobody looked at it as competition. It was a tough man.
Wait, contest. Are you saying he was fight curious? Sorry, Go ahead. Continue.
Not taking anything away from the people involved in it, but it wasn't being promoted as a tough man type. It was being promoted the way it wasn't being promoted the way it's being promoted today. I don't think anybody looked at it as a threat or a competition. As a fan, I was curious about it, but not concerned about it. Bischoff also claimed there was a time when he was offered a chance to buy UFC for $2 million. Wow.
Whoa. Wow. What a steal.
Yeah, if we'd have known what we know now, I'd own it. I was offered to buy it at one point for $2 million, and I didn't bother to return the phone call. Oof, that's a tough one to put.
Now, would Dana White still be the one in charge though? If Eric Bischoff was there? And there's the thing is because you also got to take in the intangibles of the work that Dana White put in to make UFC what it is. I mean, you can't underestimate that. Now that being said, Eric Bischoff, I think, does have, sometimes, he's gotten critiques over the years, but I do think he has still a very creative mind and could have absolutely possibly made UFC into a juggernaut. Would it quite be the same level as this today? Who knows? But at the same time, I can't just assume that either because, I can't undermine the work that Dana White has put in to make UFC what it is today.
I think Bischoff would have done the same thing, get the marketing up, get the credibility up, get the look and presentation up. That's what he's best at. And you don't need storylines as much. I won't say that in UFC when you got legit fighters because, I'm not trying to knock Colby Covington at all because he's bad as fuck, but Colby Covington would still be on lower mid card if he didn't jump on the heel train and get all that fucking buzz and then get back over. So and now he's in the Oval Office and shit. So there is storyline room that Bischoff could have done as well. But
true, and there's something to be said. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he could have done some pro wrestling things in UFC and made it even bigger than what Dana White's done. But at the same time, I can't necessarily assume that it would necessarily be the same either. But still, to know that for $2 million you could have had that piece of pie that's so big right now. Man, that is a kicker. that's crazy.
And there's nights after UFC big main events that Dana goes and drops more than that on the tables in Vegas. Like right. He has $2 million nights. Like, whew, wow, I can't imagine playing at that level right now, bro. Like crazy.
Yeah,
because I have to murder the entire Baltimore Ravens football franchise for costing me $80 on a parlay last night. Like that, I can't get over that. Or Kay from UFC this weekend fucking up. She's the parlay, Kay the parlay killer. That's what I'm fucking calling her now. She does 5 parlays. Fucking, I had great picks, and last night Ravens should have gone over. Nope, fucked it. Fuck, the $2 bet could have won me $71. Fucking cunts. I picked 10 other fucking on an 11 pick thing, all of them right, and Baltimore should have stomped them. So now Timmy Baltimore's got tons of heat. That's probably why he doesn't want to come on today and face me. Our final story today is about Adam Pearce discussing responsibilities of being a WWE producer. We've seen a lot of Pearce lately, Beast on Raw being the figurehead.
Really? That's good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Him and Pat Buck are pretty much the guys backstage who it looks like are running the show, on camera. Says producers' days at TV especially start before everybody else's. For context sake, as soon as we get done doing this, I'm going to shower, put my suit and tie on, and drive to the Thunderdome because we're going to produce some television today. Pierce used as an example. I'll get there 3 to 4 hours before anybody else. We'll sit in a meeting. You know the meeting. We'll go through the festivities of the day, and that may or may not change at all. Oof. It all may be etched in stone, and we may follow through with one set of plans immediately. I have become extremely adept at rolling with the punches, and the punches, they will be coming. And they will be coming fast and furious in numerous counts. So producers are on their toes constantly. We are behind-the-scenes deliverers of information sometimes wanted and sometimes not. We're responsible for making sure that our specific duties for that day, be that 1 segment, 2 segments, 3 segments, or more, not only hit their time, but provide the content we're responsible for. So sometimes that means I need to get in the ring and teach somebody how to do something I've never done before. Those are always fun days. And then I've got to sit, once the broadcast comes to fruition, sit there in the chair we're talking about with the headset and communicate what we're seeing to our broadcast partners, our television truck, our producers, and our directors before it actually happens so they can have their cameras in position to capture the images we're trying to give the viewers at home. And if all that happens in a perfect world, we'll hit our time to the second, and everyone will be happy with what they saw, and we'll move on to the next day. And that's just describing a TV day. Sounds like exactly what we're trained to do, Beast. I'll go agent the girls, then I'll go agent the luchas, and then while Man Beast is agenting the super heavyweights, and then he goes and rechecks the other side girls' business and the storyline and make sure the camera guys know where we need to be during this. Yeah. And then Power's working, making sure everything's set up, ready to go in the control room.
And then someone's in the next segment. So we have you take over for time. You go on out to the ring and do your business, and then come back. We'll switch. Then I'll go out and do my business, and you take over on time cues and producing. So yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot.
And I'll say this too. I don't think Adam Pearce ever had the training beforehand to do that. So he had he had a huge career. Don't get me wrong, 20 years.
But to be able to learn on the job, it says a lot.
Yeah, to not go through the developmental program as a producer and run the show, and then be put in the WWE shoes. I'm not saying he's slipping on it because he's working his ass off. There's no doubt about that. But is that also a reason why product was down in the last 2 years? Because you have producers that weren't trained for it, and they're learning on the job as they go along and getting better at it. I'm sure as every day goes by, as you roll with those fucking punches, and the punches can be somebody's injured. The boss says put heat on somebody. A segment goes way too long, or it's not working. We got to cut it. We're changing the script at 4 p.m. for the show's 3 hours away, and it's taking a turn. The draft.
we have someone showing up we didn't expect, and we want to use them, whether it be a celebrity or dignitary or whoever, you know what I mean? It's like, we got to figure out a segment with this person. It's like, oh shit. Okay. Well, let's do that. It's always coming with something different. You have to be able to adjust on the fly at all times. And, being able to be just efficient and productive and continue to do good business in those high pressure stake environments is hugely beneficial. And it takes experience. It takes people that have been through that to be able to really excel at it. And so, yeah.
And there's nights afterwards where we feel like masters of the universe when we hit an hour of TV and everything comes off on those times of the moment.
Oh, yeah.
And he's right. The way he's describing it, I don't know if the fans or listeners can really appreciate it, because that is a job that is so time consuming. And so like you're in the moment of like doing and being the whole show, and you have to do your own business, which he does now because he's on camera in 3 or 4 segments as the figurehead. So even though it might seem like he's the producer, that's a fixed scene. Like he had to get that scene ready to be in that scene. Like people don't understand what that
yeah.
is all about.
You got to go talk to the people that make the outfits. You got to talk to the camera crew. You got to talk to the talent. You know what I mean? It's a lot, and be able to put all those pieces together in a timely fashion and make sure it makes the air. Or it airs live and everybody has to hit their cues perfectly and be right on time so we don't fuck up the rest of the show. It's a lot.
Buck knows, he's been in it,
Yeah.
right there with us, even though he wasn't the top creative. He knows how it all operates to make it smooth. So both those guys, I'm sure, are really putting their grind in, man. There's no doubt about that. And might be better than taking bumps, but it'll wear you out just as much. Because at the end of the night, some nights when you're the master of the universe, the other times they probably look at each other and go, look good on paper, but we fucked that one, boys. And we've been there too, and that's a shit feeling. And there's been a lot of Raws like that where I'm sure they looked at each other, raised the eyebrows, and on to the next day. That's all we can do.
Yeah, it's where Rip would say, "Hey boys, the best thing about that show, it's over."
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, we're not, but the show's over with.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting Daniel Price. Gal's did an interview where he said his first run in WWE was a real cutthroat, old guard type stuff. Said second stint was more co-op. The irony, ratings and viewers were higher in the first. Well, you ain't wrong, and you're talking about the exact line in the sand where Man Beast and I, our era in OVW, that switched to FCW and created this generation of SJWs, cooperative workers with no real edge to them. And it feels like they're playing wrestler more than they actually are wrestlers of the Attitude Era, which to me, the last bastion of those guys was the cutthroat guys of Mike Cruel. Not that Spears was a cutthroat guy, but in that clique, Vladimir Kozlov, Amish Roadkill, like that was kind of the final crew, like in there, that was where things switched over to the fanboys are now in the locker room and on TV. That was it, bro, of what you're talking about right there. And those guys would cut your throat, would set you up just to try and cut your throat. Nothing personal. That was just what the wrestling biz, because you were going to have to go up and do a Triple H, JBL, whoever else wanted to fuck with you. So the training part of that was all to get you ready for it. These kids aren't equipped with that type of knowledge, man.
No, and going back to the part where you said about the ratings, that's where, having, the old guard and basically people that are helping to police their own locker room, it ends up working out because you end up being sure people don't undermine their own business, which is exactly the issues we're talking about right now. And even though the issues we talked about today, I think were more related to WWE, it happens across the board. And pretty much all the major promotions, at some point, someone posts something that undermines their business. And that's where I think to a degree, we do need more policing of the locker rooms and more locker room leaders to be able to step up and say, hey, don't be tweeting that shit. Don't be putting that shit out there. You're killing everybody's business by undermining your own.
Yes.
Truly.
It kills the whole fantasy world we're trying to build. Even if you're not involved with it, you have lessened that level of believability for all of us. For what? An Instagram like? How much money did that Instagram like make you? Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. So, yeah, man, absolutely respect the producers, because we've been there, man, plenty of times. And when you see a talent really hit it out of the park, you have that proud father feeling. You have a feeling that's even different than your own edification as a performer. It's nice to be able to, they become your paintbrushes, and when you paint a masterpiece with them creatively, it's nice. It's a good feeling, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'll say, it is a different feeling, but to me, it's just as gratifying, just as satisfying. That's why I haven't really, I do miss being in the ring sometimes, and I probably will, still continue to compete every now and again. But just being able to help guys put together a match and then watching it to come to fruition and doing good business and getting over, and the crowd being on their feet, that is extremely gratifying to be able to have a hand in that.
Absolutely, man. And that's our headlines, Beast. I mean, this was a damn fun show, obviously, with the running in the core right here. Holy shit, it was a good time. Hopefully RBV's surviving after having to go to Office Depot early this morning. Hopefully we can welcome him back. I know he's working with Jargo, doing some stuff back together again, the original Monday Locker Room tag team. So hopefully we get that on Hamin Media Group. I saw the War on Morons is up, that Rat Salad Review is up. Hamin Media Group on YouTube, guys, and HaminMediaGroup.podbean.com. Our affiliate channels growing immensely, very much thanks to MSG, Dr. Ted, and Colin for really, man, and Big Ray too, bringing those outside great podcasts into the family to get more eyes on it. We're going to be stronger together. The media platform's getting filled out at a good rate of growth. So whatever you want, more music, more Mandalorian with New Force Order guys, just great stuff. And I heard that there's a big AEW star possibly coming to the Academy Star Trek podcast. So
nice. Oh yeah. I heard that too.
Crazy stuff going down here. I mean, like, I just get hit up in messages with, like, people are telling me, so I'm like, okay, sure. Yes. Yeah. Let's go with that. That sounds good to me, because they're all big doings. And I was glad to get Rip's new podcast out with you at patreon.com/Hamin Media Group. Another great episode, great responses this week. And like I said, the new marketing video for On Opportunity for SWOT analysis I posted yesterday. So just trying to keep it real here, man, with constant content creation for you guys on all free and paid platforms. Stevie and I got to jump in tomorrow and take care of Raw and SmackDown review, because Vince is having eye surgery replacement for his corneas today. They take him off a dead guy and then redo the lenses with a dead guy's eyes on there. So
wow.
He's going to be out of commission for 2 days. So definitely hop on at the Vince Russo. Wish him the best. You know, I'm sure he's going to be hurt, and he's got to pretty much have 2 Alistair Black eye patches on for the next 48 hours. So he's going to be going through it, but hopefully when he comes out the other side, he can see a lot better, man. And we'll handle it. Master Shoot will be a good time as always, and we'll see what else we got cooked up for the Raw and SmackDown review based on all the headlines that keep trickling out today as well, dude.
Absolutely.
What else we got going on? Broster's Coffee, Bro 5LB. You can save now for before the pandemic, part 2, and get that. That helps us out. ZordosOliveOil.com. And as we said earlier, ProWrestlingTees.com/Dr. Beast and /Ben Hamin for 2 brand new shirts from Pro Wrestling Tees. You're definitely helping us out brand wise when you do that kind of stuff, guys. And thanks for doing it during the show as well here. Once again, the Serena Deeb virtual signing, I believe, is on the 22nd, and go to AEW shop now and check out her new sloth shirt. But we got to work on Namaste Champion this week, no doubt.
Yes. I know. I want that shirt. I want it. I just want a shirt that says that, but yeah. I think absolutely she could. I think she could sell a lot of those shirts.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, a lot of you guys, what else we got going down, Beast, this week? Anything?
Well, of course, going to make my weekly trip up to Indianapolis. Next week's Thanksgiving week, so we're going to try to get some more podcasts in the can. And Rip has been getting on to me. I've never been one that's been very good at putting myself over, but Rip has just been adamant. So I'm going to oblige Rip, because he's the hustler, and you have to do what Rip says. It's wrestling, and Rip says so. But he wants to put over the match that he had myself and Revolver do, where we had a 90-minute Broadway where we just went in the ring and just went. And so for those that are wanting the chance to see a little bit of not to put myself over, but a little bit of, I guess, a wrestling clinic, Rip and I are going to sit down and actually do commentary for that match, because Rip just, he demanded it, and so I'm going to oblige him. And so, but I think what we're going to do, though, because I talked with you about it, Ben, is instead of making that a paid thing, we'll make that a free thing for
absolutely.
The YouTube Hamin Media Group page. So be on the lookout for that. Once we get it recorded, I'll upload it, which I'm sure will probably take a little while to upload a 90-minute gimmick, but we'll get it up there, and it'll be good. And you'll hear myself and Rip doing commentary for that match. So be on the lookout for that in the next coming weeks.
Right on, man. Maybe we'll release that Thanksgiving weekend, hopefully.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. I mean, maybe even Thanksgiving Day. So, yeah, during any time the weekend. That's a good idea, yeah. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll set the premiere. And
if you just watch the match and have the camera on you guys and give me that, I'll take the match and I'll do a picture-in-picture and reproduce it afterwards and put it out with you guys on commentary in this lower corner with the full match. We'll put it out that way.
All right, I'll have to figure that out because usually the way I was going to do it is to have my computer screen and do commentary over it. So it's just the.
Oh, you open in StreamYard and have both you guys on there. That's fine too if you want to just do that and share it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get it.
Yeah, no, we got picture in picture either way. But that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to hear that. An hour and a half of Rip Rogers commentary. What could go wrong? That's
right. It'll be fun. And I'm sure he'll call shit out because as much as I know he puts it over, he'll probably, there's always little moments in matches where like, oh, you could have done better on that. Should have got up on the drop kick. Forgot the post.
Okay. Oh, shit, man. Well, I appreciate you being on here this morning, Doc, as we had a hell of a week ahead of us with more opportunities. You guys, everybody kicking ass on all shows, on all fronts. So thank you again to the street team, to the producers and hosts. As we hit 2,000, the Rip Rogers teaser was episode 2,000 at hackerhamin.podbean.com. As we approach 2.2 million downloads, I think we'll be there by the end of next week. So just crazy stuff going on. And it's all because of the diehards here at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman, at hackerhamin.podbean.com, on the Discord for Hamin Media Group, Russo brand subscribers, Patreon subscribers. Give yourself a Barry Horowitz infidel and put yourself over because nobody else is gonna in the locker room. You got to say best match ever. Ya Allah. Go follow that, boys. Ya Allah.